I'm Ryan,
And I'm Nick.
and you're listening to Going Offsides, presented by the Lacrosse Collective on the Lacrosse All Stars Podcast Network.
So I'm here today with Jakub Lipczik from Poland Lacrosse. Jacob, how are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks for having me, Nick.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice to meet you.
You as well. So Jacob's listened to the show, and we're happy to get him on board. And he also has an interesting role in that you are helping coordinate the European Lacrosse Championships. Is that right?
Yeah, it's right. It happened like last year because when we knew that we will have European Championships in Wrocław in Poland, we knew that we have to build a group of people that want to help. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm the only one in the lacrosse society in Poland that have some experience or some knowledge about PR and marketing. So for guys that invited me, was obvious to invite me, and I was honored to have a chance to help them to, grow the reach and try to communicate more lacrosse in Poland, because European Championships are a big chance for us to get mostly mainstream with our sport here.
Right. And what are you doing to kind of make people aware in Poland of the event and try to engage the people into maybe trying the sport, at least watching the sport?
Because it's happening in Wrocław, which is one of the most beautiful cities in Poland, and probably the well known in tourist related, because there's many tourists coming to Wrocław, probably as much as to capital city, which is Warsaw or Krakow. And in the summer, because it's a little more south than other cities, in the summer it's very hot and it's very warm and it's very beautiful, and it's really cool to have it during July in Poland, because as you know, we have only 3 months of sun in Poland, so weather is not helping us promote the sport. But if we have a summer in Wrocław, it's very beautiful. So first of all, we planned to have it in the sports academy. So we have many great fields that we can use. Also, we have new venues that are built there, and the stadium, the big stadium, which is right now the home field of Wrocław Panthers, which is the best American football team here in Poland. Okay. And they are also very well known in Europe because they win a lot of trophy. I think they're European champions. So yeah, this collaboration with all these places and venues is very helpful, because first of all, we can reach all the students and all the people interested in sports. There's many sports going on in those places. Second of all, Wrocław is the hometown of American sports, because president of the city is very helpful regarding American sports. And this is the home field of Wrocław Panthers, and we plan to have a really close collaboration with them. We didn't start talking with them very seriously because the lockdown happened. Right. But this is like one of the ways we want to promote the sport. First, go very locally, have a venue and a city which is very helpful with American sports, so the people that will see lacrosse won't be that, like, they will see it for the first time, but this is but there's a chance they know American sports because of the American football and well-known national champions who are Koszynierzy Wrocław in Poland and in Wrocław. And the second thing, we have a full support of the city because of the president, who is very helpful and want to see as many sports growing in Wrocław. The second way we want to do is to contact with other very famous Polish athletes who can relate to our situation. Like one of the guys that we have, like you can say, not a contract, but gentleman contract, gentleman's
agreement.
Yeah, gentleman's agreement. Thank you. It's Mariusz Czerkawski, who is one of our, probably the most famous hockey player in Poland, and he is, he was in 2 all-star games in NHL. He's well known in NHL. He spends whole his life playing in the States, and he knows the sport. So he is one of our ambassadors. The second is well-known basketball player who is from Wrocław, Maciej Zieliński. So they are helping us to make the sport more mainstream, because probably, as you know, Poland is very soccer related.
Right.
If you think about supporters, they will be angry if they will hear it, because everyone say it's football here. It's soccer supporters. And we have to go a little under them to, knock to this, how you say, glass ceiling of mainstream, to move a little above, and let them know that there's another sport that you can watch with all your family and enjoy it, and it's pretty, and it's fast. It's a contact sport. It's effective. It's very spectacular. So these are the ways that we want to have to make it grow. And the third way is to find a big media partner that's mainly known from supporting like the mainstream sports like football or soccer, and then they will move to our side and help us grow and promote the game. And we found them also. So those three ways are right now concrete. We just need to move them more right after the lockdown ended, which is like two months ago.
Okay. So how is life in Poland right now? That you just mentioned that the lockdown just recently ended a couple months ago. Are things slowly going back to normal? I talked to my cousin who was in Munich last weekend, and he said that, other than masks and a little bit more distance, things are somewhat back to normal.
Yeah, what I meant about lockdown, I was meant like lockdown mentally, because people are still a little afraid. But everything is coming back to normal. We are trying to finish our season, our lacrosse season in Polish Lacrosse League, which is good. Sports are coming. It's a little steps, but we're coming back to it. But still, regarding big events and like concerts and culture events, I think people are still a little afraid to go out. Streaming and paying for sports is not that popular like it's in the US. Like pay-per-view in the United States is very popular. It's like the normal thing to pay for watching the game or watching MMA or anything. Here, music streaming, movie streaming, it's popular, but the sports need to be seen live. So we're coming back a little to it, but it looks very promising.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. And then you mentioned the Polish Lacrosse League. So I assume that's a field league. And how many teams, or what's the reach geographically? Is it all over the country, or is it just in one part of the country? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I started playing 7 years ago, and when I started, there was only 4 teams, I think, and then it started growing very gradually. The best year we had 10 teams, and there were teams from north to south, west, east. Now we have only 6 teams, but those 6 teams are very composed. They have many players. They have really experienced players, and more youth are coming into those teams. So we have Wrocław, Poznań, Krakow, Oświęcim, Katowice, and Warsaw. So the oldest one are Poznań, and they started it almost immediately with Wrocław in 2008, and right after them Wrocław started it in 2009. And from those 3 oldest teams, which are still growing, still moving, still playing, still with the league, everything started growing gradually. Right now we are playing in field rules, but we are testing Olympic rules. So we play 6-on-6, shorter field, less amount of players. It's not only testing for the Olympics, but it's also dictated by the lockdown, because we literally just started the season, and then lockdown happened in February. So there's a chance not many people will be available because of the vacation, studies, work, and plans they made before the lockdown to play again, like, you know, in the
So it's more
22
convenient
square.
right now to
Yeah,
play
yeah,
by
yeah.
the Olympic
So
rules anyway. So
it's
why
way
not?
easier, to finish it like that, still having players playing and making their experience in the game here.
Yeah, you're kind of speaking to why they tried to choose a model like that for the Olympic version of the rules, because you're accidentally proving their point right now that it's way easier to play it and grow the game if you don't need as many people and it's not as specialized. So I think, you know, Americans can't really grasp that because we have so
Mm-hmm.
much lacrosse, and why would
Mm-hmm.
you ever change the rules? Well, we're just
Yeah.
one country. I've talked to so many other countries on the show that are, you know, they struggle
Mm-hmm.
to have a practice, and Olympic
Yeah.
rules would go a long way in making it easier. So it's interesting to hear that you're using that. I haven't heard anyone else say that they're actively using them. So that's very cool.
That's
Um,
probably also the sixes probably are the way to. I'm talking from my marketing point of view. Probably it's easier for Olympics to buy a television rights for it, because probably it's way quicker, way easier. Still, it's still lacrosse, so seeing it in media, in mainstream media, will be good for all of us. So
Mhm.
it will be easier. People just need to have a little feel to it. And if we have teams that we probably will have in Olympics, so it's Blue Division plus some other really great European teams,
Mhm.
the people will see it. It's spectacular. It's quick. It's fast. They will probably want to know more, and maybe there will be a way to open the door and put all the guys there and play 10 on 10.
Yeah. I mean, being European myself, I think obviously tying anything back to soccer is going to be the easiest way to help people learn, but also the basketball, the hockey aspects, because ice hockey has grown so much in Europe as well. So I think that's a huge part of it, you know, just making sure people understand the link, you know, playing at soccer stadiums. I mean, most European clubs are probably playing at soccer fields, and
Mm-hmm.
I think drawing on those similarities is going to be very useful for a fan that, you know, unlike in America where you might happen upon it on Instagram or on YouTube or even on ESPN occasionally, you're not
Mm-hmm.
just going to randomly flip the channel in Poland and see a lacrosse game. So it's important to do that and make the extra effort, like you're saying. So it's very interesting in a very cool way. So as far as lacrosse in Poland, stop what you're doing. Go to Instagram and follow us at going_offsides_podcast. You don't want to miss the giveaways that we're going to start doing. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. Now back to the show. Do you play box lacrosse in Poland? And how big is the game in terms of the women's game right now?
The women's game is played, and I think there's less teams than we have in men's team. But we have really good two teams that are very often sucking in girls from other teams and bringing them to tournaments and to the national team, and they're almost coaching itself from the inside. It's Poznań Hussars and Kosynierki Wrocław. And I know I saw the post on Instagram, I think yesterday, that Poznań Hussars was in Berlin playing with some other teams, practicing, getting knowledge, putting the girls, you know, U19, U18 to get some experience. So the girls are strong in a way of organization related and regarding like a sports level, but it's still like in men's national team, it's a lot of work before us to get on the level like Israel have, or England, or even Germany have. And we play box. We have this team called Polish Eagles, which is mixed of every player from different team. And if you're just from a club from Poland, you can just join the team and go to those main tournaments like Ales Hrabeski, Frank Menschner Cup. They were in the Frank Menschner Cup last month, I think, I think it was, or beginning of this month, in Czech Republic. And as far as I know, we have really good collaboration and friendship with Czech Republic, which is the mecca of box lacrosse
especially
in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. Very
So
cool.
yeah, we're interested in it. I think right now we are focusing more on being really good field team, because we have a big tournament in our backyard. But I think box lacrosse will be going forward just right after it.
Okay, very cool. And then within Poland, you said there's 6 clubs. Are those clubs mostly centered around like university towns, or does it not matter? Is it really just all over the board?
It depends, because
Okay.
what Poland lacks as a country is a university league in any sport, because we don't have any college league. We don't have university system. You can go to if you go to sports university, you will find a discipline or sport that you want to practice. And if you want to be a track field runner, or if you want to be a swimmer, you can just do it, or judo, or martial artist, you can do it in the sports university. But if you go to a medical school or engineering school or other school, you can't have sports scholarships. So we don't have those teams on universities that they can have like this rivalry in the university league, which Scandinavians are doing, Germans are doing, UK is doing pretty well, and it's obvious USA, it's like it's NCAA and all that stuff. So we have to work from down to the top. So we have to go to schools, talk with those coaches or principals that are mostly focused on soccer, volleyball, handball, which is like 3 main sports in Poland. They don't want to buy a gear, don't want to lend the gear from the club. And what's the worst of it, the teachers don't want to learn what the sport is. So if you don't have someone inside, you can't work with those kids. So Wrocław has the biggest success, I think, and Poznań with it, because they have, I think, 1 program each that they regularly working with one school, going to the school and work with those kids so they can suck the I need to plug in. They can suck in those kids in and recruit them to have them. But the teams that are appearing on the map are mostly connected with the like hockey centered. Oświęcim is hockey centered, or someone came from States randomly to this. That's how Wrocław and Poznań started, because someone came to Poznań and said, hey, I saw this there, let's contact with European Federation, let's bring gear here. And then someone from Warsaw came from States, contacted with Poznań, and this is how it started. So it's very random, but it's connected mostly with the sports that are famous in Poland, like hockey, and those players are looking some outlet to do, and then move a little to lacrosse. Warsaw is good from international standpoint. City is very cosmopolitan, so we have a long tradition of having many abroad coaches here and players from different countries. Right now we have a guy from Eric Persky, who is Penn alumni. So he was a long pole and he defended Matt Rambo, Will Manny, all those guys who played with him when he was a college player. So it's like the greatest knowledge you can have here. We had a guy from UK, guy from Japan, went back last year, played in Tokyo University, and I heard your podcast with Japan, so you know that he was real deal. So this will help us here in Warsaw, because all the contracts people having corporate related are mostly in Warsaw, so we can just pick them, or they just contacting us and say, hey, can I I'm coming to Warsaw, should I bring my gear? Of course, we'll have a place for you.
That's fantastic. So as far as the national team, let's talk about that for a minute. You're playing by the Olympic rules. It's clear that at least you, and I assume everyone else, has a desire to eventually make that push to become not only an Olympic sport as a whole, but for Poland to attend the Olympics. So, and that starts with the European Championships. So, what does it look like within Poland? How do you do tryouts for your national team? Who are your coaches? Do you do a mini camp before the tournaments where you all come together for a little bit, or with 6 teams from around the country, do you drive into one Center City and practice, or what does that all look like?
So the all the idea about the Polish national team started way before. Like I said, we started the whole thing in 2008, and we were in 2010 in Manchester. I think it was European Championships, probably, or maybe Worlds.
I think so.
Yeah, they were Worlds. So we were there. So we got it organized very quickly, and it started because of the connections in the United States. So we trying to connect with people that have this Polish heritage. You spoke with Jake Silberlicht from Israel. So their program is the perfect way of doing it. And we're trying to do something little similar. So we're contacting people that have this Polish heritage in United States and ask them for help. And mostly they are helping us, and they're coming here to help coach. So we're trying to do tryouts, which are mostly organized like half a year before the big tournament we want to go, and then we do those selections. We have all athletic program prepared by a coach from States, and so he's checking everything what we're doing, like agility and weightlifting and all the gym stuff. And then Kyle Plumley and Błażej Rokicki, who were the head coaches before, because Błażej is changing right now for Christian Zwickert, who is also a D1 or D2 coach, and he worked with us before in Manchester. He's now coming back. So they will, with Kyle Plumley, they will work with us again to get prepared for European Championships. But I know that everything is going very fluid right now. Okay. And selected guys that are like 40 guys right now. They're closed group, so they will start working. They started working during lockdown, with all those video things and gym stuff, and probably right now they will be coming back to the field. So we're trying always to bring new guys, and we also trying to bring, like Jake said, someone from States. From it has very very. It has only pros, because the rivalry between the guys from States and from the guys from Poland, it's better, because they have to see how the guys from States are playing. At the same time, they are making the team stronger, not only physically but also mentally. Like everything is about chemistry and everyone being on the same page before the big thing.
Awesome. And as far as the European Lacrosse Championships, I'll give you a chance to plug that real quick. It's supposed to be in July of 2021 now. It was delayed, obviously. Do you know yet what the dates are for that, or is that still flexible, kind of waiting to see how things kind of play out?
It's still flexible, but as far as I know, and what we've talked about with European Federation, it will be in July, because it's the best way to have it in this month. First of all, the weather, it's probably the best in the year here, and it's also the moment that everyone is traveling. It probably will try to travel if we don't have any problems like we had this year, and many people will come to Wrocław to see the sport, and also everyone can plan, like the families of players playing can plan their trip, because I know that the guys have many supporters from United States, and we are speaking with some organizations from the United States to invite them to the European Championship. So it's the best way to have those people here and have them for not like for 2-3 days or just a weekend, but to have them for the whole thing.
Okay. And then earlier you mentioned how, it's important for the Polish players to see the North American players and see what they can do. And that's why you want North American coaches. Is outside of, like, let's say YouTube, are you able to watch any of the American lacrosse that is available either through college or the professional leagues?
Yeah, I know that because I know many guys in other teams, and I know they're doing it, because every club has like those, little Facebook chats, and we have also this whole league chat on Facebook that where we're sending all the links you can have. Of course, not all of them are legal, but we're trying to, buy as much thing as we have. like PLL and watch Patriotic League, which is mostly free, and there's a
Right.
couple of NCAA games always going on for free in HD, so you can watch it. So we're trying to watch live as many games as we can, and also the guys from Czech Republic are always so good to put everything on live stream. So if there's anything box related, they always showing it. So yeah, we're always looking for something to watch live.
That's fantastic. And then, were you on the team during the 2018 Worlds?
Yes.
So who would you say, and it's okay, it can just be your opinion, not representative of all of Poland, but who would you say are your rivals within Europe?
Like a grudge game from 2018 or overall?
Overall, but you could also include a grudge game.
I mean, the best game we had, and I would love to play again against them and win that game. It's from 2016 European Championships against Netherlands. They're a very good team, and that game was a dogfight, and everyone was really talking about that game because I think we've lost like by 2 points, and they were smashing everyone till they played against us. So I would love to do it again. We've lost with them very big very high in Israel, but it wasn't our really good tournament. So I would like to repeat that again. But the rivals from the biggest rival from Israel, we won't play them against them in European Championship in Wrocław, but it's definitely Hong Kong. Because we had really good first game with them, and then we've been a little sloppy in the second game, and we've lost it mostly on our. It was our fault to lose it. So they caught us back. Yeah, but I would love to play against them again, and in Wrocław, Netherlands for sure. Maybe Finland. They're not our rivals, but we've lost with them. It was our first game in Budapest in European Championships. We've lost with them badly, so maybe playing again against the bronze medalists from Budapest would be pretty cool.
That's awesome. And then stop what you're doing. Go to Instagram and follow us at going_offsides_podcast. You don't want to miss the giveaways that we're going to start doing. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. Now back to the show. A couple random personal questions. So who's your personal favorite player in the world? The person that you kind of wish your game would be more like?
There's a couple of them. There's many guys. There's many guys I'm looking up to. Just from the Fogo perspective, because I play a lot. I'm face-off specialist, but also a midi. So face-off specialist, definitely Nardella is the guy, and Fowler. Yeah, there are two guys who are. Nardella is super quick, but Nardella is also a grinder, and I like how they read the game, how they counterattack with the guys, how they adapt. What we can say, even in this lockdown season, what Nardella did was crazy. He's adapting so quickly to even bigger guys than he is. And as a whole player, Tom Schreiber is the guy. He's super simple, but his basics, like super simple skills related and what he's doing on the field, but his lax IQ is super high, and like his basics are made to perfection. So it's just a feed, or it's just the down the alley dodge, but it's always finishing with something good for all, maybe the team, or maybe it's a goal for his partner. Not always playing for his team. So very selfless. Yeah, his whole package. So yeah, Tom Schreiber.
Perfect. Well, Jakub, I really appreciate you come on the show and given a Polish perspective to our going overseas
Appreciate
series.
it. Thanks for having me.
And I'll be sure to post all the socials for not only the European Lacrosse Championship, but also for Poland Lacrosse on our posts.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Thanks, Jakub.
Thank you.